Comrades, I want to also acknowledge the rallies that have been held in Port Augusta, Whyalla and Murray Bridge today. Let's have a round of applause for them. And I also want to report on the CFMEU's recent motion at their National Council. Martin O'Malley, the Secretary of the CFMEU Construction and General Division, couldn't be here today because he's at their National Council. But the National Council of the CFMEU moved this motion and passed it unanimously. The Construction Division of the CFMEU condemns the Rand Labor government in South Australia for removing nearly 4,000 jobs from the public sector, attacking services to the SA public, removing the guarantee of no forced redundancies made to the public sector unions prior to the state election, unilaterally overriding the collective agreement by legislating away long service leave entitlements and 17.5% holiday leave loading. These actions are a betrayal of Labor values by an elected Labor government and are a direct attack on the union movement and working people. We call on the Rand government and SA to honour the agreements made to unions in South Australia, in particular the right to collectively bargain, the protection of working conditions in agreements and the commitment to continued job security as a fundamental platform for government. So comrades, that's from the CFMEU National Council in support of your rights. I'd now like to call on Joe Suckarch, the Industrial Officer with the United Firefighters and Vice President of SA Unions, to come up and say a few words on behalf of the fireys.
Friends and colleagues, it's an honour to be here today, and looking out over the 10,000 people we have here, we've got court staff, we've got nurses, we've got policy officers, social workers, also the AMBOs, teachers, health professionals, workers from every corner of the public service, from every profession, from every department have come here today to rally against this budget, the most anti-worker budget this state has ever seen. I also want to note the members from my own union. We try to be a bit discreet, but I know it's a little bit hard sometimes. The firefighters who are here today. It was only 8 years ago that we gained our long service leave entitlements on par with the rest of the public service. Yet, because of this warped idea that the Premier and Treasurer has, the public servants have got it too good, as they put it. We're fighting for those benefits again. Treasurer Foley has called us dinosaurs, small and irrelevant unions, whilst Premier Rand has dismissed this anger as the usual argy-bargy. Well, we've got some news for the Premier and the Treasurer. The firefighters of this state, the MFS, the CFS, State Emergency Service and our colleagues from the Fire and Emergency Services Commission are here today, just as we are 24/7 on Christmas Day, on Easter Day, on our children's birthdays, to serve the state with pride and absolute dedication. This budget is a direct attack on our working rights. A fundamental right that we've enjoyed and must continue to enjoy is that to collectively bargain for our wages and for our conditions. The Premier and Treasurer don't like this as it doesn't fit in with their agenda. We have enterprise agreements and awards that we've negotiated over time and gained things like long service leave and annual leave loading, not out of the goodness of government's hearts, but by fighting and earning it. John Howard tried to do this, as we all remember, with work choices. He ripped away conditions of employment, attacked workers and their rights to collectively bargain, and made it legal for an employer to unfairly dismiss someone. And here we are, Premier Rand and Treasurer Foley, the supposed Labor leadership, going one better and trying to pass law to shift the goalposts, to have their way with our leave and with our jobs. John Howard didn't even have the audacity to try and use Parliament to overrule our awards and agreements. Ladies and gentlemen, make no mistake about it, this 2010 budget is our work choices. And today, through our show of unity and resolve, we are sending a clear message to Rand and Foley that if they don't can this failed experiment, we will do what we did to John Howard and vote him out. My friends, we're not dinosaurs, and this will be far from the usual, Mr. Rand. We are union, we are proud, and we are united. We'll be on the streets, we'll be in your offices and in the public eye. It's your choice, Premier and Treasurer. Scrap these laws or look for another job. Thank you.
much from you guys for a while. Mr. Rand! Mr. Rand! Mr. Rand! 2468! 2468! Very good. I want those loud and proud voices as we march shortly. But before we do, our final speaker at this end of the march, or the rally, is Elizabeth DeBars, the Secretary of the Australian Nursing and Midwifery Federation, and also the Vice President of SA Unions.
2 weeks ago, we were outside Parliament House and we were there to oppose what is an appalling situation where this state government is looking to cut service jobs that provide critical services to the South Australian community, and not only that, but cuts the entitlements of hard-working, dedicated public service workers providing those services. We together made a difference that day, and I'm absolutely thrilled to see so many people out here today to make that difference happen. But yet, here we are again, because they are looking to introduce legislation that rides roughshod over the essential services for members of our community, and legislation that rides roughshod over the legitimate entitlements of people to bargain. Nurses and midwives are among many groups who negotiated. We negotiated in good faith. We negotiated with honesty and integrity. However, the state government had every opportunity to put on the table its claims, and they never, not once, did they raise the issue of long service leave entitlements. But not only that, not only did they never raise it, now when before the ink has even dried, they're looking to cut the long service leave entitlements of nurses and midwives, contrary to any good faith bargaining, but they are also looking to make sure that the legislation prohibits any capacity for any agreement to deal with long service leave entitlements into the future. You tell me, is this fair? Have they bargained in good faith? Can the state government be trusted? But the state government has not only shown the level of trust that you can have or can't have, as the case may be, in them during the course of bargaining, they have also shown the lack of trust and faith you can have in them in their own other promises and commitments that they have made to nurses and midwives and to the community at large. And I draw to your attention this document here is a document that speaks of building a valued and sustainable nursing and midwifery workforce. That's the title of the paper. And I'll read you a quote. It says, after talking about issues with the skill levels and the availability of nurses and midwives for a secure health workforce, it says, we must continue to invest in building our workforce capability and in creating the conditions and opportunity that not only attract nurses and midwives to the professions and the workforce, but also encourages them to stay. Will a cut to the entitlements of nurses and midwives encourage them to stay? Will the cuts to other services and important resources encourage nurses and midwives to stay? And not only that, this document ratified by the state government talks about another document that they say is the guide to South Australia, the document that forms the principles that not only the state government should abide by, but businesses and the community at large. And that document is the State Strategic Plan. And a reference to it says, securing the well-being, prosperity and quality of life of all South Australians into the future is the objective of the South Australian Strategic Plan? Will cuts to our services help our well-being? No! Will cuts to our services help our prosperity? No! And will cuts to our services help our way of life? No! This is an outrageous betrayal, and I call on all of you to march down to Parliament House and to demand the well-being, the prosperity and the quality of life that the state government promised you and you expect to be delivered. And I ask you this, today, are we going to tell the politicians what we think of them? Yes! Are we going to tell them that they've failed their KPIs? Yes! And are we going to tell them that they cannot be trusted? Yes! And finally, let's tell them to negotiate, not legislate. Negotiate, not legislate. Negotiate, not legislate.
Thanks, comrades and brothers and sisters. Another fiery speech that tells the truth. It speaks volumes to the fact that Rand and Foley have lost their Labor values, and we want them restored. Comrades, we're going to embark on the march down to Parliament House now, and I ask it's done with some discipline. We're going to follow the fire truck appliances. There's some marshals around in red safety vests or orange safety vests. Please abide by their instructions. And let's be loud and proud and tell this government what we think.